Randy, you can go ahead. Can you share the screen? Okay, all right.
Okay, so can you guys
Awesome.
see the screen?
Yep.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Thank you.
So a little bit about myself. Like I said, I'm a manifesting coach and energy healer. My website's randysin.com. I have a YouTube channel called Navigating the Hologram with Randall Sin. I go by both names, by the way, so Randy or Randall. A lot of my friends just call me Randy. Birth name is Randall. And on LinkedIn, it's like Randall as well. And I've been studying manifesting, law of attraction, energy healing, metaphysics, and spiritual psychology for about 8 years. And the reason why I got into this field was I had my own health issues. I was going through some depression as a teenager and a kid, and had some health issues with my stomach. And I was not the most, I guess, like socially engaging or connected person. So I was literally like by myself a lot. I had friends and I liked small groups. I like to read, play sports, play games, and be with family. But I really got a message to take my spirituality to another level by studying the teachings of law of attraction. One of my main teachers is Neville Goddard, and here are some other readings that just came across my path, like Napoleon Hill, Bentinho Mazzaro, Ramana Maharshi, so an Indian guru, kind of typing, kind of like Eastern thought, but it stems from just trial and error of what works, what resonated. Law of One, the raw material is another one. Buddhist philosophy and studies, New Age and New Thought, authors like Joe Dispenza. There's a book called You Are Placebo, which is really good, or how to get rid of your past, or how to create your new self. I'm paraphrasing the name. But a lot of the placebo studies and James Allen studies on your subconscious mind, and Carl Jung with a lot of the psychology. I have a bachelor's in psychology. I was a behavior therapist for 1 or 2 years, worked with kids and adults with autism and learning and social challenges, but I wasn't happy with that field. I wanted more of my own like hands-on approach of holistic and spiritual. And I decided to look into spiritual psychology because I felt in America there was a lot of missing aspects to the spirit that I felt just with my background in Eastern philosophy and a lot of the spiritual readings that inspired me, that I wanted to go into that field for holistic health and just helping people with their own health, their own wellness, their own thoughts, and all of that. I had certifications in neurolinguistic programming, which is a modality on helping people just be present in their awareness, and they can utilize their 5 senses. So a lot of this has to do with your breath and visualization, and really using the other senses, not the vision, and using audio and description words with our senses, or other senses. Other modalities I use is integrative quantum healing, EFT, thought field therapy, emotional freedom technique. I'm an addiction recovery and psychospiritual coach too, from this great organization called Being True to You. That's really a keystone of what I'd like to do too, just creating communities and getting people to be their authentic self. A lot of people who suffer from depression typically don't have a connection back to their true self. And like one big concern I hear a lot is, how do I become my true self again? I was like this when I was younger, but then as I grew older, something happened. There's some shifts of awareness, shifts of perspectives. So this corner foundation of just being true to yourself, being connected to yourself is what I like. And that's where manifesting can take you in a way, because you can manifest anything, but it's what is relevant for you and what does your heart really want. And I want to address that towards just when working with people or in manifesting law of attraction in particular. Is that what you truly want? And the more we see our connection to this universe, the more we can create a better life for ourselves, as thoughts create reality. And it is 24/7, whatever you think it is. And the people you talk and the things you see, what you read, what you see on TV, it'll become your reality the more we put attention to it. Another saying would be, where your attention goes, energy flows. That goes with the negative, but also the positive. And this is my DAO page. DAO page is a holistic health wellness site, practitioner site. And I can just read about myself. So I'm born in Los Angeles, traveled around the world, luckily, when I was younger and even my earlier 20s and teenage years, and had an inclination to the healing arts and spirituality at my young age. I realized I always had a spiritual calling and enjoyed helping people the best I could. That's where I got into metaphysics, energy healing, and spirituality, and help people in their spiritual growth and development. And I use energy modalities to help release negative energy and harness positive energy that empowers an individual mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually. And what inspired me to become a wellness practitioner, as I touched on before, I had health problems, especially with my stomach and just the depression, anxiety part. And I was actually hospitalized in 2015 because of this. And my lifestyle just really had to change drastically, especially through nutrition. And I found deep-rooted beliefs with family, with friends, with relationships, and how I dealt with money and with everything really, and how it shaped my reality. And I began a journey to study health, wellness, spiritual transformation, energy healing, and living authentically. My studies were in psychology and brain studies, and I got a master's degree in spiritual psychology and holistic healing in Mount Shasta. And I help people manifest business, wealth, health, relationships, career, more. What I say to someone, well, if you never tried energy healing, so I'm also an energy healing practitioner. We're all connected, we're all energy. Therefore, we're all energetic beings. And even after that, or before that, there's consciousness, there's awareness. The human body isn't designed to be a self-healing mechanism. Don't underestimate the power of your mind. Your thoughts and beliefs can create miracles. And are you open to healing and manifesting the life you want? Is just the biggest questions. Do you want to manifest that life? Do you want to heal? Do you want to create what you want to create? And here you can look at reviews on your own time, but they're available on my DAO cloud and Yelp page. So what can you manifest? Well, literally you can manifest anything. This can be relationships, this can be money, careers, businesses, side projects, health, spirituality. And I'll give you some examples. So I live in Las Vegas currently. I'll start with the house example. So what got me here was actually I was looking at an Airbnb, and for my birthday, I went to Las Vegas at an Airbnb, and I just felt really good about that area, the community, how the house looked like, and just the people around me, and really just visualized that and implanted that in my imagination. And I wrote down some characteristics and qualities, used the five senses, and magically, just a few months later, there was an opportunity that happened way better than I could ever expect logically, and really implanted that, thus creating that law of attraction of just creating what you put out there and being very specific. So the list and the visualization of it and creating that into where you are now. And at that time, when I did that manifestation, I was in a place where I felt kind of stagnant, and I didn't feel like my productivity was the best, my health wasn't the best, the social connections wasn't the best. But I went to Las Vegas, had couple days out there by myself, and I saw a friend. I saw kind of like the life I wanted to move my life to, like creating that direction. And I just felt it. I felt what I wanted, and I implanted that through my imagination. You feel it as it is here. And it doesn't have to be the exact spot, but the universe responds to vibration. Every nanosecond, you're vibrating something. It's a vibrational universe. You're a vibrational being. The thoughts are vibration. Emotions are vibration. It doesn't have to be exact, but it's something you could work on specifically, whether you write it down or you feel it. It's a nice combination of both. And like I said, just using all of your senses and focusing what you want. The qualities, the characters, and you feel into those qualities and characters, whether it's a house, and you create a list and let it go. So same with a job. So I manifested a job a few years ago that was very specific to my list. And you start off with this process of making a list of characteristics, qualities. For me, it was a therapy agency, and some of my criteria was office of young professionals, clean, good HR, good mentors, team-based, heart-based, conscious, mindful, not strict to ABAs. ABA was this, it was a method, a strategy we use for kids with autism, and it's very scientific, but it's also rigid. So I wanted to have more ways of engaging with the clients and being more holistic. And another thing was bosses are cool and understanding. There's an efficient system to track down data. So I did manifest this, and it was a really good job, and I liked being in that environment. But like I said, I branched off to something more holistic and went into the holistic health field and energy healing. And I guess first, I guess we could take a break. Does anyone have any questions so far? Let me see the chat.
I heard from Z last time that she had a very good experience with you. So I guess today everybody is expecting to experience maybe some, like, you know, like we don't know what exactly that you will bring into us. So maybe you can also let us know.
Yeah. So even that, I do offer free like energy healing and just a consultation for manifesting.
I see.
And even with this, it's kind of like a framework of what manifesting is to me and how we could apply it in our own lives and in your life. And we could actually just, since we're settling in, I don't think anyone else is coming. We could start off with the meditation just to connect with each other. And
we have questions.
Oh, okay.
So you are open to question now, or you want to go to the meditation now for all of us?
We could do a question right now. And we don't need a yoga mat.
So before you said you will open some kind of free energy healing session or like some consultation. So
like after. So I guess sorry for the confusion about that. So I guess after a few questions now, we can do just a meditation to ground ourselves and connect with our higher self and source. And then after the presentation, if you're interested, I could grab an email and we can, and if anyone wants a free consultation, it's a 30-minute consultation. You can definitely, I have a link for that and we could book a time, but it's not going to happen today. So the meditation I was thinking of would be just a relaxing, just to get in touch with everybody, so we kind of connect on this space of this call.
Sure. So I have a little quick question, like in terms of like healthy. So I'm also curious about, are you vegetarian or vegan?
I'm not. I actually believe there's a lot of value in meat. Ethically is another system, but it's a matter of belief systems. I don't think anyone's better or worse for being vegan or vegetarian. I think their bodies take in the nutrients differently, and I think I definitely feel like for me in my life, like I have to take in meat to sustain my lifestyle because I'm very active with sports and working out. So it does affect. I definitely do. If that's a place to start for health, we can drop a lot of meat products and replace it to plant protein, but it's not necessarily the one answer to fix any health problems. I think there can be rooted issues with thoughts, and even it's very hard to sustain a vegan lifestyle. And by the way, I'm not a certified health professional, so I don't want to give like too many health suggestions in that way. But just like, I guess from my own experience, I tried being vegetarian and vegan, and it was like a few months, and it felt good for the first few weeks, but I couldn't sustain it for 3 months. I just felt very light, and it was really good spiritually, I guess, but I still couldn't go into like deeper connections towards what I wanted to do with fitness and whatnot. I hope that answered your question.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Cool. Is there any other questions?
Lily shared 2 books in the chat. So if anyone would wish to learn more about the law of attractions and manifesting in general, you can also take a look at those 2 books.
Yeah, definitely check those out. Oh, I'm hearing myself a little bit. There's an echo. But anyways, there's also a movie called The Secret that you can watch. I believe it's free on YouTube. And also there's a new movie, I think, of a new version of The Secret that just came out. So if you're interested, you can check it out as well. And for Randy, I'm curious, sort of like, can you share with us some of your experience working with clients, like interesting case, and how like law of attraction or manifestation have helped them?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like clients have a certain way of doing things, especially, well, everyone has a certain way of doing things, and everyone views reality differently. So it goes back to their own thoughts and belief systems. If they have a certain way of believing money is hard to get, then we would have to work on the core belief of why do you think money is hard to get? Or you have to work this amount of hours, or you have to do something in a certain way. So really going back into something specific is one person believed it was very hard because his dad had these experiences, and basically the person believed it's hard because his dad believed it and his whole family believed it. And there's a whole loop of that. Like if you believe it's going to be hard, then it's going to be hard. But then notice that that's still a belief. So for the work is noticing that you're before the belief, before you even had beliefs. When you're a little baby, you don't have any beliefs. You can really pinpoint that with a coach. So you see that it stems from family or your dad, and then you go through experiences. And this is why, like, I'm doing this topic on reanimation, is that when you're going back to the past, you can recreate it, not just talking about it, but really going into the past and seeing that it's something you picked up. It's something you picked up on an assumption or belief, whether it's money is hard or that people don't like me if I do this. Whatever it is, if we pinpoint it, then we can uproot it and transform it. And in the later section of this presentation, I could go into that, like a process for that. I hope I answered that question.
Absolutely, thank you.
Okay, great. And thank you for the share of those books. I actually haven't seen The Secret. but I know Abraham Hicks and all of that, so I'll probably look into that more. And for the other questions, I'm gonna go back into the presentation first, and then we could look into the other questions. Okay. Well, first, let's just ground. I think I did say that we are going to do a meditation first. I do want to just ground energies, just keeping it connected. So we could just take a deep breath into your heart space, just relaxing, just being centered in the now for this call, and having your highest attention, what you envision your life to be, and just feeling that good feeling of what you want in this life. And starting on the top of your head, on your crown, you could visualize a golden light that connects from the top of your head and a few feet above your head. It glows into golden light. You're connecting to your source energy. And this builds up all around your field and extends above and all around your body, filling yourself up. This golden sphere, this balloon of golden light. So just connecting into these energies of source, connection to something greater and higher, in alignment. It's relaxing and removing any thought, just centering in this space. And now we're slowly coming back into our crown energy, just grasping this source energy into our mind's eye. On the point in between our eyebrows, we're connecting into this mind's eye, balancing our left and right hemispheres of your brain. It's relaxing, less overthought, and less thinking, just collapsing into feeling good in your mind, in your body and spirit. Connecting into your throat now, moving this energy down. This is your throat chakra, connecting into your authentic voice and expression, allowing yourself to manifest, allowing yourself to express your truth. Moving this energy into your heart, releasing any tension or stagnation from your neck or shoulders, and just really centering back into your heart, connecting to that space. And just feeling warmth of the source, warmth of unconditional love. You visualize something cute and fluffy. Maybe it's puppies, just a bunch of good-hearted animals or species just connecting into that space, allowing yourself that tenderness and warmness around your energy field. And then moving this energy into your solar plexus. Top of your abdomen, this connection towards your divine power and interaction with others, knowing that you're just safe, you're connected, allowing source to run through this energy in your abdomen, connecting into your divine will and faith and balancing it out. Breathing in the energy into that center. Moving this energy into your sacral chakra, which is located a few inches below your belly button. And just connecting into this center of divine expression and creativity, balancing your yin and yang and divine feminine and divine masculine. These energies of your life force energy, your Dantian. So allowing your creativity to be expressed and releasing any judgment or shame or guilt or fear or lack. Just releasing it back to source, giving it back that you're allowed and capable and connected to your source energy. And finally, moving this energy into your hip area and pelvis region near your legs, connecting into the root chakra. This is your connection and energy center of safety and security, that your body's safe, that your spirit's safe, and your mind's safe. Just balancing this out as you connect to your hips and legs and knees and ankles and feet. You're just connecting into Earth's energy and the elements and the plants and animals, feeling connected towards Mother Gaia and Earth and its unique resonance, the Schumann resonance. And just resting in this space and integrating for a few minutes, relaxing and just taking in what I've said in the beginning of the session, just trying to integrate that as you allow it to connect with you. And so you can use it for your own life. And connecting into that higher self that's always available, the source energy and the warm, good feelings that's always available for you. When you feel like coming back, you can slowly come back on your own time, no pressure. It's relaxing into the call again. Okay. So thank you for that. Thank you for participating and just receiving that. I felt just to relax into that. It can be very dense, just getting a lot of information. So next time, if we do this, we can probably start off with the meditation or end with the meditation, but all is well. It turned out fine. And now continuing back with manifesting. So the universe is always working for you, not against you. Even if it feels bad, even if something terrible happens, everything somehow is meant for you. So we have to look at it in a positive way, that it is a lesson. Memories, they're all good. So you feel and not suppress. You're feeling the emotions, you're feeling the feelings, and what you resist persists. If there's a negative pattern that keeps on coming up, you want to make a note out of that. And this is where trauma work can happen. If there's trauma as a client, or if something happened when you were younger, or death of someone, or it could be a relationship. I mean, every person has negative feelings and bad things that happen, but how do we interpret it? So the next step is to reinterpret things. Are there negative and bad patterns? Like literally, you want to ask yourself, is there something that you're attracting? You're attracting everything. Literally right now, there are things that have to be looked into. If you don't feel good in your body for some reason, look into that. If you have a pattern with jobs or relationships, you can look into that. So being aware of them. The best way to be aware of them, if we're not consciously aware of them, is to write them down. And you deal with it. And it's not just deal with it. Life's hard or something. It's more like you're looking at it for what it is and seeing it. It's a lesson. In the path of life, I see everything as a journey, and that there's going to be ups and downs, there's going to be ebbs and flows, but you have the power to create your life that you want. And the more we do this inner work of looking into the patterns and looking into what's working for us and what isn't, the more we can have happier lives and more lives of attraction and more fun with it. And you can't hide from bad patterns. You can only deal with them. And analogy would be, if you got hurt and you put a Band-Aid on it, it can be worse 1 year from now if you don't actually address the scar. Or even 5 years from now, it can be worse if some small trigger creates that effect. So if you're not healing and making the situation, for example, if there was a negative relationship and you thought something bad about men or a certain type of people, if we don't see it as a healing experience, then we're just gonna expect the same patterns about the boyfriend or girlfriend or about certain people. So we want to pinpoint them, and it's best to find the root beliefs and dealing with them as much as possible. And the more we find these root beliefs, then you could take in quantum leaps in manifesting. And you see that you're always manifesting, and you could consciously manifest more and more. And there's no limit to that. That you're feeling good, you're feeling lighter, your connection to your manifesting power grows, and your connection to source energy grows. And the more you look at events as a good thing, what other good things can you attract? What experiences were good in your past? What other experiences do you want to create? Whether it's new or something similar, you can always go for more. It starts out with that feeling and you want to end with that feeling. So if you had an amazing feeling, a blissful feeling, you want to connect into that energy and vibration. And one way would be from your memory, but you could also write it down. Journaling is very powerful, using descriptive words like I feel, I have, I am, I receive. And tuning into that, like, what do you want to manifest? Typically, it's not $1 billion people want, but it's that freedom that you could do with that money and that excitement. And even if there's a new transition, like you're moving to a certain city, for me, moving to Las Vegas was very exciting. So it's more of that initial feeling of excitement. And like I said, vibration is everything. This is a vibrational universe, and it responds to vibration. If I didn't feel like Las Vegas was exciting, it was boring or stagnant, I wouldn't attract that. But part of me had a sense of, hey, I want to go to that direction. So I'm going to follow this resonance, this excitement to go to that direction. And there could be fears like, well, I don't know anyone, but these are just limiting thoughts in the surface. You want to go through the things that excite you the most, that resonance of, this is what I want my life to be. And everything comes together. The universe will give you the situations, the resources, and the opportunities for you to really crystallize in that new reality. And you look at failures as a good thing too. What can you learn from failures? You see them as part of the journey. So everything's a journey, especially the failures, especially things that don't go our way, but we see them and learn from them. And eventually they give us into higher successes or feelings of even better feelings and experiences. And it's persistence of what we want to attract, what we want to do, doing the inner work of catching our thoughts and how we feel.
Ready. I saw that Jennifer was saying that this is awesome, so powerful. So I was wondering whether Jennifer would like to share or elaborate a bit more here.
What was the question?
Oh, it's not a question. I was Jennifer was saying that this is awesome, so powerful in the chat. So
cool. Thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah.
Can you guys see me?
Hey, yeah. Jennifer.
Oh, hi. Sorry, I'm just doing stuff around the house. Yeah, no, this has been great. And it's weird because like I've been super depressed lately, and I think it's because I'm not getting enough connection during the day and just too much time by myself. But yeah, really like getting to the root cause and just, digging ourselves out of that depression instead of numbing. Like that's really big.
Very cool. Yeah, so I'm glad that you showed up, Jennifer, and really appreciate your time and just connecting with us. For that too, it's like you're tuning into the energy. This goes back into the mental diet. It's like what we think and say. We could easily stick to being alone and kind of having that downward spiral of thoughts. And our mind can be your worst enemy a lot of times. So this is a great time to connect with new people, connect with old friends, maybe your family, or go in nature if that provides just another shift. But everything is patterns, especially your thoughts and movement too, like going for a walk or biking or swimming or anything, really just shifting that. Especially I do a lot of like mind body training. So the more we're out of our mind, just connected into your body, we can shift into that energy as well. So definitely I believe in a lot of that, and I practice it. So the more you do this, the more you see that connection. And manifesting is great too, and it's connected to the mind and body as well. So when you're using exercises towards the body and connecting to a different environment, you get to get downloads. So just like if you're downloading something from the internet, you're gonna get new information, but it gets compacted. So the more you just go in another environment and kind of integrate it, and that's why I do the meditations, so then you can really integrate it, because it can be a lot of information. But the more you slowly practice this and integrate this, the more you'll experience it in your own life of how you're manifesting all the time, and even your thoughts and the sense of stagnation or excitement really goes strong. Yeah, so thank you for that. Great. Okay, I guess we could answer some questions, sure. So I do recall someone asked about Joe Dispenza. So the book, GUI, is You Are the Placebo. Placebo. And yoga mat. For meditation, yeah, I think yoga mat's good. You could definitely use just a chair to meditate, or if you're on a soft carpet or you're just walking in nature and have a bench, you can meditate. And Joe Dispenza is great on manifesting as well. He's very scientific, but he also uses the chakra system. The only thing is I wouldn't go like hand to hand with the chakras. The chakras, he doesn't use the word chakras. Joe Dispenza doesn't use the word chakras. He just uses different glands. He has a background in neuroscience, I believe. But it's very interesting. I would look into his work as well. A big takeaway from Joe Dispenza is the feeling states. Like the more you feel into a good feeling, the more you're creating that magnetic charge. And same with thoughts. Thoughts are electrical charges. It's less powerful. So that's why he emphasizes, and I emphasize myself, the feeling. When you're emphasizing feelings, like good feelings, feelings of joy, that creates a charge in the field. And we're all connected in this quantum field. So the more we have these good feelings, the more you could create those patterns of thought, manifesting of good experiences. So thank you for discussing about Joe Dispenza. He helped me out a lot as well. A friend once mentioned that she believes manifestation equals seed of thought plus energy plus conviction and hard work. I say manifestation is every second. So you can get to where you are with hard work, or you could get to where you are with easy work. It really depends on how you view work. I see the only work is the inner work, which is how you think. I know people who make like millions of dollars and they don't have a standard job, and people that work 80 hours and they're not happy, and they're not making the money they would like to make. But also, I do believe thoughts and energies are the big ones, and just the seed. So your intention. And like I said, it may not be $1 billion, but we're in a society that really values money. Money is valuable. It's a transfer of services. It's, or how I view it as it's a barter of energy, exchange of energy. But it doesn't mean you can't go to point A to point B. I live in Las Vegas, and it didn't happen. Like I don't have a pay for the mortgage or anything. There was different instances for that, and people live off Airbnbs. So there's other ways of looking at it. It's really what you truly want. So definitely energy, thoughts, and conviction. But I guess to break it down, and maybe we could have a call with you, is what you truly want, and starting and calibrating yourself there. Because once you're clear on what you want, you get to see if there's thoughts that are actually straying you from the destination. like maybe there's way you're sabotaging yourself with other thoughts. But if you just know your deepest desires and what you want and just stick to that, then the thought, the energy, and the conviction and the hard work or easy work becomes one. It doesn't have to be hard. There's going to take effort for this. It's going to take effort to retrain our thinking, but it's not necessarily hard. And the more we get into this process and practice of doing it, the more you can actually see that it can be really easy and that you're manifesting literally every nanosecond. Even in the quantum field, every nanosecond is a different reality, is a combination of another reality, and it's never set. And our awareness is what glues everything. The awareness is another word for consciousness. It's before the thought, before any emotion. And the more we tune into this awareness, the more we keep that separation of the negative thought or positive thought, and even good and bad, because people have a mental concept of what good and bad is, but it's much more than good and bad. Universe does not see good and bad. It just has everything. Like everything exists at the same time, the past, the present, the future. So there's infinite realities. There's infinite timelines. Where do you want to put your awareness? Where do you want to put your attention? Do you want it hard and painful, or you want it light or happy or bliss? Do you want your energy to be on finances or something fun? It really is up to you, and maybe we could connect and we'll get like a call to see what you are working on.
Hey, Randy, there's another interesting question here from Robin in the chat. How do you get out of the zone where you're just content with everything, not in a good way? It's like your mind is just telling you to be okay with the present. And yet there's a slight nudge that it could be better, but you don't know what's there to manifest. It's very interesting. Thanks, Robin, for the question.
Yeah, so Robin, your question is where you are just content with everything. So it sounds like a judgment already that you should want more, and maybe we could work on that. There's a mini belief or assumption that I should want more. Like there's some people who seem very successful, they have millions of dollars, or they have a great family, but they feel like they need more and they're actually not happy inside. And ultimately it's really 100% what you believe. If you feel happy inside and you have all you want, because in essence you do, the universe guides everything, it's infinitely abundant. But if you don't feel good, then that is your signal from your higher self that there's a belief that doesn't register. So I use a principle called the emotional guidance system. Your higher self is the highest version of yourself that sees all realities, and it guides you through emotions. Are you feeling good or are you feeling bad? It's very simple. So are you feeling good or feeling bad? If you're feeling good, your higher self is telling you, do more of that. If it makes you feel good, continue to do that. If you're feeling bad, there's a belief that's not in alignment with your higher self or the universe. The universe has a vibration of abundance, infinite love, unconditional love, joy, happiness. There is a distortion if you're feeling bad and you continue to label it as feeling bad, as depressed, as something's wrong with me. In truth, there's nothing wrong with you. It's a thought or belief. The truth is you're all perfect souls. You're all created out of God's image. You're all infinitely worthy of anything that you want. So we have to pinpoint like what it, yeah, it's a nihilistic void. Precisely, it's the notion that I should want more. Okay. Yeah, I'm like AC from those. Okay. So let me see if I understand your question correctly. So you're saying that you're in a nihilistic void, and we could talk about that. I'm still not getting what the question is. Are you asking how do you get out of the nihilistic void? Okay, so you feel wrong to feel bad. So I would ask, why do you feel bad about that? So it does sound, for me, and this is just my intuition, it just feels more of a possible religious or morality background, but I could be wrong. So definitely we could look into deeper meanings and deeper inner work if you like to. But thank you so much for the question, and always prioritize feeling good, no matter what the circumstances are. Prioritize feeling good. Connect with people, look at inspirational videos, connect to nature, meditate, eat healthy, any of these things, raise your vibration.
And Randy, if you don't mind me adding on that,
Yeah.
I think there's an important piece here to kind of be intelligent about our own feelings. So if we're sort of following, law of attraction and manifesting the idea of sort of you want to differentiate positive emotions and negative emotions. And I feel like for me, at least, prior to getting to know this body of knowledge, I was pretty, I think I always knew like I weren't really in touch of my own feelings. However, my ego and my sort of hubris self kind of like never really allow myself to admit that. And then I never really educated myself on what are some of the emotions that are high frequency and positive. What are some of the emotions that's low frequency and negative? And then until I read the book The Secret, actually has this really neat chart that maps out a spectrum of feelings that you want to be able to kind of like identify when you feel like, when you feel jealous, when you feel guilt. These are all negative feelings that brings you down and give you, like negative frequencies. So I think that maybe like a small building block. I know Randy's talking about a lot of like great topics. And I think sort of foundationally, before we go there, it seems to be some kind of like foundational work. At least this is drawing from my own personal experience. I feel like, first I had to learn what are my feelings and be able to name them even. I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling angry, guilty. Sometimes you're not aware how you're feeling. And it may sound kind of like counterintuitive, but a lot of us are not emotionally in touch with ourselves. So I think that's an important piece. I think it worth kind of like double clicking into.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for that. I was the same way too. I was
Great
not
point.
in touch with that. And I do feel like you have to use that language again, that building block of I am feeling, and you have to like make that a conscious effort, because definitely it almost seems like a loop of I do feel like my higher self is telling me these emotions and feelings, but I don't know how to express them. I don't know what it is until you actually get the foundations, sort of like what in The Secret or the levels of consciousness or the emotions, that chart of what is a good emotion, what is a negative emotion, it all becomes mushed. So I do feel like, yes, the foundations of that to find your feelings and actually be honest about the feelings. And that is going to take work, because if we're not used to it and we don't have the tools, then none of this would actually make sense. And that's why we have to practice that self-talk of understanding those feelings. So then it addresses the feelings. And Carl Jung talks a lot about this. He was a psychologist, did a lot about the unconscious mind and the collective consciousness. So the more we bury it, because it's not like we want to bury it, it's just we don't know better. But the work is doing these exercises and seeing and feeling the experiences and actually being honest. Like you literally can use an Excel spreadsheet or a word pad to see what your true feeling is, because our friends can tell us, hey, I feel like you're not happy, or maybe you are happy, but then it's us that's the individual. It's up to the individual to break it down into, why am I not happy? And you could just ask yourself the question, why? Every moment you could ask that. For any feeling, you ask yourself, you're calibrating that, you're asking your higher self, why do I feel that way? Why do I feel that way? Why do I feel that? What is the belief that you must hold true to feel that way? And it is going to do that work. Yeah. So yeah, definitely thank you for that. And someone else had a question as well. Gui.
I think Gui wanted to ask
Yeah.
something.
So my question is like we attract anything, like also have the frequency or vibration. But my question is like, if a woman got raped or someone got a car accident, so that's also kind of, and someone says there is no coincidence in life. So is that because, so sometimes I will blame myself that I have some failure or I got something. So like if a girl on the street got raped, is that she also need to blame herself because she has the lower vibrations, like, and then attract that rape, something like that?
I don't think it's a lower vibration. This goes back to theory too. I believe that we are attracting that, yes, and I do work with people who have been raped and friends that have been raped, and it's the sense of, in the soul's journey, you do choose that to learn, and ultimately the thing with horrific things like that is that you could help more people that had similar experiences with that. So in the sense of low vibration, if you're not aware of the vibration yourself, it's not really, you are, yes, attracting that, but it's not like that's the only thing that their attention is going. Like from a cosmic view or a higher self view, that soul wants to learn that lesson, because everything is orchestrated something which is way higher than our conscious mind can understand. So in the sense of, if someone's getting raped, it's or had that in their story, it's a blueprint for them. It is typically a theme. And from my experience and just seeing other people come out of that, is they learn a lot from that, and they help a lot of other people through that, and they realize that there are deeper traumas either in childhood that is attracting that loop too, and the relationships that they attract, and just how they feel about themselves. So definitely you could use law of attraction manifesting to heal that, but it is deeper wounds, and it doesn't have to be just sexual abuse. People could have had physical abuse or emotional abuse or mental abuse, and they could be equally. I mean, all of it is still coming from the mind, and I don't want to like create a hierarchy of like what is worse or what feels bad or good, but in the sense that everyone has their power, their choice of using the law of attraction, doing this inner work. They have the ability to heal, and they have the tools. It's a matter of practice and persistence. And there's a lot of people who've come out very strong. I believe Louise Hay had a similar situation, and she was founder of these affirmations, and she had cancer, and she used affirmations to really heal her own body, to create that law of attraction, but also to help a lot of people. Now, I believe almost millions of people with her words, and a lot of it has to do with just her accepting what happened. Because the more we say it's a bad thing, the more we're going to attract that. The more we say that life is not for me, the universe is not working for me, universe doesn't judge what good and bad is. It just provides you for what this learning is. And from my point of view, Earth is a school. It's a learning experience primarily for any individual, and it's going to have some hard lessons, but we tend to create that on a non-physical level. We do create that. I hope that answers.
Thank you. And another quick question: if like the law of attraction, if like I'm really like a guy, but he just do not like me, so how can I use some kind of this to help me to manifest, or how will this be? Like if I really like him, why he doesn't like me? So like
Yeah.
this.
Well, and this goes back to, so there's a principle I look, it's like everyone is you pushed out. This is by Neville Goddard. And basically it's saying like, what is it in you that you are liking and not liking? And same with your partner or your specific person. What is it about that person that you like? And I would just work on that reflection, because it's not something very specific. Like it's not that you like that person. It's really you're finding that energy in yourself, and that's what the soul's journey is you're looking into why are you attracted to that person. You want to like implement that in your own life to create that attraction, and then once you match that vibration, you get to attract that. So it's a sense of, because it goes back to, if you see it as negative, it just starts as negative. There's no way you could attract something that you don't have a good relationship with. If you say, how come you don't do this? How come you do this? It's a repelling effect. So the more we see it out there and not working out, the more it's going to attract that it's not happening over there. But everything is already happening and manifesting the more we look into what we truly want and seeing that everything is a reflection of us. So it's always inside of ourselves first. The law of vibration, our thoughts, what we truly want stems from our own self-love and self-acceptance first.
Thank you.
Guyi?
Thank you.
Is there another question? Oh, sorry, that was it. Okay, so we can just continue. How much time do I have? Or can I stay up longer?
You could.
Okay.
Well, yeah, you have more time to go. I think everybody's interested to ask you questions as well. So thank you so much, Randy.
Okay, awesome. Cool. So everything is vibration. Thoughts of vibration, emotions of vibration, people have vibration. So what is vibration? It's states of frequency. In my view, vibration is how much light are you emitting from your connection to source and that energy. And you feel this with people you like, or good animals, like just something that just makes you feel good and warm, a certain thought, a certain aspect of nature. You want to connect into that. And the highest levels of vibration, you can use this as either enlightened beings or God or universal consciousness, that we're all united. In that sense that it's a feeling of unconditional love. And I'm not talking about romantic love, but just a sense of love for everything is the foundation of vibration. And then we could go back into reanimation. So the name of this workshop was Reanimation, is that you're going into your past and you get to color in your past into something you want to happen. For example, if I was stung by bees at age 5, I would use this technique of reanimation, and I would go into that event and feel into that memory of being stung. And instead of being angry at myself or the bees, I would just connect into, it's totally fine, it's neutral, I'm getting stronger from this, I have a better relationship with the bees. And you can do this with anything. So if someone gets bullied, you would have to connect with the people. What did the people say? So if you get bullied, then you want to recreate it where you have a good relationship with this person. You don't see him as a negative person, as that's what a bully is. There's a negative connotation that he beats people up, but you see him as a better version of that person, and you reanimate it. What are the feelings that you want to feel? What are they saying to you? And you want to catch yourself with any negative feeling, catch yourself with any negative interpretation. You don't want to talk about it over and over again. as talking about negative things and placing negative tension on it crystallize a negative memory or negative interpretation. So that's why it goes back to reanimation, because you're consciously going back in time and recreating it instead of saying it. And that magnetized feeling. So you want to go into that feeling good in these situations. And you can do this. The strategy is to list out any events that come to mind that you had a negative feeling. Maybe there's a stagnation in your body. Maybe there's just a negative interpretation. And you just list them out and put some time for it. And then for each event, you would ask yourself, what happened in that event? The memory still plays, but you have a reinterpretation of it. You want to go to a point where you go into that memory and you create the experience differently, whether it's different shapes, it's different dialogue or self-talk, or it's creating a new positive conversation, positive interpretations, creating feeling good states about the events or neutral feelings. And the key is to wash away any negativity or feelings of fear. And to do this, you want to just see the memory for what it is and feel your body to not have any reaction. Just see it as a neutral event. And once you get to conquer that fear, and it is going to take that practice of being in that memory again and seeing it as neutral. Or you could see it as positive. And you want to create that shift. The more you do this, the more you're creating that energy, that shift, you're going to shift that mind and body. You're going to think about that memory again. And before, when you were triggered and you didn't feel good about the memory, the more you change that memory, the more it won't affect you. So the key is letting it not affect you. And these are other questions of what you could ask yourself. What did I believe about myself? What would I like to believe if I were to go back in an event? Like, what do I want to believe about that event? What do I want to believe about bees? Do I want to have negative feelings or angry emotions and feelings about bees and that memory? Or do I want to be like, hey, that memory is good for me. I actually learned about bees. I have a better relationship with bees and nature. I respect nature more. And I realized that it made me more cautious in places with hives or bees. And then if it's with other people, what did I believe about a certain person or specific person? What would I like to feel as a person and about the person I was with if I were to go back into that event? What did I believe about reality? What would I be saying if I were to go back into that event? So it's that self-talk, as the self-talk will create your reality. It is 100% what you say it is, but we can catch our thought every time. What did I feel? How did I want to feel if I were to go back into that event? And going back to that feeling, you're neutralizing it by creating a new feeling. You're magnetizing that charge. So feeling good about doing the work, feeling good about going into, for lack of a better word, painful experiences or feelings of fear. And you can really conquer your fear. With the example was with bees, you could create that in your mind, and you don't even have to move. You could just be in your room and just keep on doing this until you train that mind to see it as neutral or positive. And a good test would be to think about that negative memory and see what comes up. Do you still have feelings of stagnations, of tension, anger, sadness, fear, negativity? What is the belief you must hold that is true from this experience? As it is a vibrational game, there's always going to be core beliefs you view on an event or assumptions, and that literally creates your reality. So you can think about when you were a little baby, you didn't have too many thoughts or beliefs. There was just exploration there. Everything was new. So something was picked up, whether it's through parents, entertainment, schools, friends, relationships. All of this happens and it creates a conditioned mind. But that's the point of the reanimation, is you could go back into time for any tough emotion or tough experience. And how do you apply this to your life? Well, I would start out small, but do this every day. 10 minutes, write down events that come to mind and ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Why do I believe a certain way? And another visualization or theory to get down is, so you can think of every event in your life as Polaroid pictures. So like there's a sense of squares. When you take a Polaroid picture, there's a scene, like a picture of an event. And you can use that as the first time you're born. Say when you're a baby, that's picture A, and you could put that on the top left of your screen right there, and that's one image, that's one experience. And then the last experience would be the time of your death or something, your physical death. But everything in between is just another Polaroid picture, a bunch of photos, experiences. And this is why you go to reanimation, is that you could literally go back into the future or the past. Like either way, it's in the universe sees time, because in a way, time is a construct in your mind. So if consciousness is everything, past, present, future, then you can literally go into any event. So you could go into the future, you could go into the past. Everything is created, all is now. And we're consciousness, we're awareness, we're connecting into what we want to change and manifest. That part may be tricky, so I do feel like I could explain it better in another time and have more case studies and practices for that. But if you're interested, you could book a free 30-minute complimentary session via the phone or Zoom session. You can get it on my website, randysin.com, and then there's calendly.com/randysin. You could just book a time on my calendar, and then you could just send me an email. You want to be on the emailing list. There's gonna be updates, discounted coaching packages, manifesting masterminds, and the beauty and effectiveness of masterminds is the accountability and blind spots we have for one another. Manifesting and law of attraction communities are great. Just like discussing this more and talking about it, asking questions really helps with your learning and integrating, and also levels up your game. Future events will be included in these emails, insights, tips, and techniques. And I guess this was the original thought of having it. The next one would be in 2 weeks, April 11th, but I'm open to collaborating with you, Chantal and Zilu, if we could just get another date, if that works for you. And then, yeah, just I guess it depends on what people want, because I don't want to talk about something that's not helpful. So if we have like specific topics I could go into, and yeah, we could really just make another workshop for everybody, and definitely take advantage of that free session. And yeah, I think I feel complete. Is there any questions?
I'd like to thank you so much, Randy. And then I'm sure different people they will have different needs. So we'll collect opinions and see how we can go in the next time as well. Lily said he has to go now. Yeah, I guess is any more questions from the floor?
Yeah, maybe we can we stop sharing if we are not using it, and then we can see everyone. And I think maybe we can have a bit Q&A if anyone have questions.
I like the background, see.
Thanks.
Can you just a little bit name maybe a few books, like two or three books you like?
Sure. I'm going to write it down too.
Thank you.
Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I'm typing this as well too.
Or you can share like one thing you're mostly manifest, you think is more significant in your whole life, like which one thing you think you manifest by this?
So, what can you repeat the question?
Okay, so like in your whole life, which one thing you can share about you using this manifestation to achieve something?
Yeah, it's always changing. I do feel like Las Vegas home was a big one. My past relationships, my relationships with family has gotten way better. Finances, I guess more about study, just getting myself like motivated and inspired to do things. But yeah, I guess the biggest one was just my own place. And I don't feel like it's gonna be my plateau. Like I do want to keep on manifesting and help other people manifest what they want to manifest. So I do feel like sky is the limit, and we just keep on, or I personally would just use these methods, and I use it for my clients to help them with their lives. And it's going to be fine-tuned. It always improves and it gets better and more clear, because a lot of times I'm trying to use it for my experience, but then I'm trying to articulate it in a way so then people can get it and use it in their life. So I do value practicality, but really there's no limit to this. You can use it for skills, you can use it for unexpected ways of getting money, cryptocurrency, learning something, organizations, projects. And it's really a matter of priority, I feel like the more you could even use this method of the list of creating a list of 10 things you want to manifest. And you could start out small. Like I receive an essential oil, or I received $20 in my pocket. I found $20 in my pocket. I see a butterfly. I see a gray husky. And the more you see something that's less probable, the more you see these and you write down a list and you're like, hey, I actually received this, the more you feel a connection towards the universe. And that's the building block of this, is you're building that connection towards the universe. And that's what we are. We're not separate from the universe. And that's that connection. The more you write it down using the I ams, I receive, I have. Yeah. And yeah, so definitely you can use these methods for sure.
Hi, Randy. Hi, I'm Wendy.
Hey, Wendy.
Hi, thank you for the presentation.
Very
I
welcome.
have a question. So for the visualization, so how could you tell it's imagination from your own brain? That's the just some pictures randomly, or you just wanted something very, very very much, and then you saw it, or you imagine it in your brain, and how you can tell the difference between the imagination and the manifest, right?
Yeah, great question. So I do feel it's literally the same. It's only different because we call it different. Like, let's just say the dreams. Like, we know it's a dream because we call it a dream. So I view everything as equally valid. So even if in this moment you tune into your imagination, you're actually tuning into a parallel reality to create that. So the more you put in that parallel reality and feeling it as natural, the more it will be manifest. The easier, the more effective it will be manifest. So I guess the key would be making it natural. So in the sense that there's things I like to call that are anchors, that I know that environment, and I talk to someone every Friday, and I use her as an anchor point to create manifestations. And this is actually part of how I got the Las Vegas place, is I imagine myself on the phone with her at the end and saying, wow, this manifestation happened. I'm actually here. I'm in this new home. And you're creating that loop as it were here now. And you're creating that in the now. So literally when I say you're creating and with your imagination, you're creating that now into this field of the quantum field. But you have to use your imagination. It's like the more you connect to that universe, you're creating that through your imagination. So the more you use your imagination, you're literally tuning your power towards the universe. And it's better to use descriptions and your five senses that's actually natural. So a person wouldn't, when starting out, people kind of have grand imaginations. It could be like a bunch of money or just amazing lifestyle. But then first, it's what is natural. You know your house very well, or you know how your family talks to you very well. So you could use that as a guidepost. So then it becomes more likely, because when you're creating a natural feeling, you're literally just replaying that. An example is like if you're playing basketball or any sport, people visualize it over and over again. They do the practice of shooting the basketball thousands of times every time, but they could do that without a basketball because they've done it so many times and it's natural. They know that how it feels in their hands and in their mind, how the net looks when the basket is made. So you can do this with creating the environment you want. If it's something clean, let's just say the room is a mess and you want to create a new room or a clean room. So the first thing I would do is imagine it clean, and you know how it feels clean because it was clean before. And instead of going into the middle, you always focus on the end, that feeling of it is clean, or you got a good deal, like a feeling of excitement. So in essence, it's feeling in the end of what you actually want, not the material object, but the feeling of what you want to manifest, and it's going to feel natural. So like really working on your imagination in a sense that's natural. Sorry, is that did I answer your question on that part?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that, with a good feeling and to do something, and it will be faster to manifest the things, right? So another question is when you do the meditation, you will have some, pictures going into your head, right? So when you saw something good, you feel very happy. But when you see something, it's not what you want to see, or let's say something ego or something bad, how you feel like that thing, or what you can tell, is that true, or it's not true? So how you will differentiate that, and how you will treat that?
So I don't think I understand the question fully. Can you repeat it with the part on, yeah, can you repeat the question just less?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, when you do the meditation, because there are various of meditation, and sometimes people will guide you into a meditation, you will see something, right? But when you see something which is not that good, or which is not what you want to see, how you're going to treat that? Because sometimes when you saw something, it's very good and you feel happy. But when you saw something not that good and you want to say, no, that's not what I want to see. But it happened and it showed up in your mind. So how, after meditation, how do you treat that bad, imagination? Let's say it's an imagination or a picture.
Yeah, can you give me an example?
No, okay, so yeah, it's something, unexpected. When I was doing a meditation, I saw Buddha, and it's just in the, in the whole of mountain, and behind there's a lot of water. And I saw this imagination going into my mind. And then when my friend did the meditate, it meditate for me to me for the second time, I still saw that. But after that, I will think what it does, mean. Although it's not a bad thing, but I will think about it. I will think what it means, what it stands for. Sometimes I will think about that.
So I still don't understand the question. Are you asking how do you keep it positive? Like if there's a negative image?
Yeah, that's my question. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so it's okay to have negative images. It's just the second part, how we interpret it. So let's just say generally if there could be a negative interpretation of something's on fire, right? So that's something we can agree that most people would think that would be bad. But if we say that it's bad and we kind of like create an energy of it's bad, we're attracting that badness, and we're actually resisting the manifestation. Is we say, if we just see the fire as just neutral, then we're just creating that new loop of, okay, it's neutral. But if we see something as scary, something scary, we labeled it as scary or bad, then it'll just create more of that. So to answer your question on that, like especially with Buddha typically to me is a good, more like a vibrant kind of a nice cosmic or spiritual energy.
Here as well. I just show an example. So it's unexpected, picture, going into my head. But I just want to see what, I should think, or I shouldn't think too much, because I don't know, because I saw that twice. And after that, I will think about that.
Yeah, I would say it's a really good thought. I would say Buddha is a really good visualization, but is that what you want to manifest? Do you want to manifest, it could be a symbol too. Is it Buddha to me represents like peace or nirvana, enlightenment. Maybe you want to manifest peace. So you could use that symbol and then create it into something natural. Maybe you want a peaceful environment or a peaceful relationship or peaceful in your job. So you're taking that feeling of peace and you're going to create that in the natural world with your five senses. And using your imagination is going to take some effort with that. So you could definitely take that energy of Buddha and create that in your life. You could have a Buddha statue, just creating that, or tuning into the energy of Buddha to create things that are less peaceful, maybe even chaotic, and bringing that energy into this world. So I would take in the energy. And for whatever reason, was there something specific that you had a negative feeling towards or a negative image?
No. I'm just showing it. I'm wondering if, I saw something, it's not good, and what should I do? But I never, be in that position. So just think ahead. I assumed that that's a picture. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so did I answer your question then?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the negative part, yeah, it's typically we say it's negative because it's just a label. It could be, and this goes back to anything. Like I could say this essential oil is negative, but really it's just neutral. Like anything, the universe sees everything as neutral, like a snap or any emotion. So the more we kind of like come back to neutrality and then finding out what we truly want, then creating that through our imagination, visualizing it. But yeah, definitely great question. I hope, yeah, it resonated. Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you, Randy.
So it's been one and a half an hour and so far, and then I think Randy indeed talked about a lot of perspective, you know, and then I believe if there are more questions, maybe you can book like a consultation with Randy individually. I heard thoughts, like comments that Alicia, right, recommended for 30 minutes consultation with Randy together. Yeah. Anything else? Anything other comments from the floor? If not, we'll end today's meeting. Randy, thank you so much. And thanks, Z, for inviting him here.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Thanks. This was really fun, and hope to see you guys another time. And hope you guys happy manifesting. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.